Middleton and we've got the MY STI sedan. This is the 6-speed manual version, and today I'm going to show you all the parts that we've fitted to this particular model, which are primarily the MRT XB power kit and a bucket load of suspension upgrades. I haven't had a chance to do the brakes on this model yet, but fairly typically this model is similar to the previous 10, 9, 8, well actually 7 and 6 model before they changed the stud pattern on the STIs around 2005-2006. So obviously what I wanted to show you first, obviously the big difference with the MY11 models is the change in the rear quad mufflers. So to keep the stealthy factory standard look, we've fitted the MRT exhaust system to this particular car, and obviously up around the back here you can see where we've fitted the exhaust. But what I wanted to show you while we're coming from the back is we've fitted the adjustable rear sway bar. A few small changes. These bars now are fitted with the lateral lock kits to stop the sway bar moving sideways. It's got the first set of the new rear subframe bushes that stop the bush from moving around under heavy load with the car, whether it's loading up the rear suspension and moving on the bushes, because the later model STIs are a little bit soft in the rear suspension bushes. At the top here you'll notice the rear diff bush inserts as well to stop the diff moving around inside the rear cradle, and then around the front here a similar application with the diff bush kit in here. Now you notice we only do this one and not this one. If you replace both you've got to actually press the bush out of this one here, which is a lot of work, whereas this one is just an insert bush. So we then go all the way forward. Okay, so it's got a centre muffler to reduce the drone because it's on the long part of the centre pipe that causes the drone at low RPM speeds, particularly when we're on the freeway or the highway. Up the front here we've got the flexible joint, which a lot of exhaust systems don't have these days because everybody's trying to cut costs, but that joint is critical. The factory exhaust system's got a flexible joint in it, and this part is bolted to the engine and this part is bolted to the chassis. The really important part is the absolutely accurate location of the rear O2 sensor, and that has a big effect on fuel economy and cruise mode in closed loop mode when the exhaust system senses out of that sensor back to the ECU what fuel mixture you've got. And around the front here, because it's a 6-speed transmission, you can see the replacement yellow bush. Now that's the positive shift kit. Stops the gearbox moving around on the lower cross member and dramatically improves the shift mechanism when you're driving the car. And one of the really critical things that I wanted to show you on this particular car is a brand new part released by Whiteline on this particular model, and this is the rear Motorsport anti-lift kit. Now I'll just get something over here and I'll show you. This part here is the original Subaru part. Now this particular part, starting with MY11, is a Heim joint, so it's actually got a spherical bearing inside a rubber mount. Now that part, in the case of the Motorsport one from Whiteline, has been replaced with a more durable one. You'll notice it's got all these special bushes and dust boots in it, but the big thing that makes the difference is these spacers on the side, and also the location of the spacer in position of the locating of this bush, because depending on where you fit it has a big effect on the anti-dive and anti-lift in the front of the car when you're accelerating and braking. And with this kit you can choose to have more anti-dive or more anti-lift depending on your choice of motorsport setup in the front end of your car. Around the front here you'll notice it's got the revised lower front ball joints, and also you can't see it from this side, but it's got the revised tie rod ends for the roll center kit, which again improves the handling. Similar to the back, we've fitted an adjustable front sway bar on this car as well, and the only thing that we didn't fit was the steering rack bush kit. And of course from an exhaust system point of view, with the MRT power kit, goes right up here through a high flow metal cut into that critical split collector off the back of the turbo, which keeps the turbo outlet different from the wastegate outlet and improves that throttle response, so you get that crisp bottom end performance, which unfortunately you don't get with all these Chinese exhaust systems. Around the front of the car, this particular car was supposed to have a new front STI front spoiler, but unfortunately not available at the moment due to the unfortunate earthquake in Japan. So that's everything under the bottom of the car. Let's go up the top and just show you a few more tricks. Well, I'm obviously at the business end of the STI MY11, and in this particular package what I wanted to show you is some of the small things that make the big differences. Of course, this car's got the ECU upgrade using Ecutech tuning software, where we don't have to change the ECU. We convert it into adjustable ECU and then custom tune it, because remember, this car is detuned by Subaru when it's delivered from the factory, and of course the SI drive mode doesn't make that much difference, but in this particular car when it's finished, 7, 11 and I think 15 or 16 PSI or thereabouts, it makes a big difference between I mode and sports mode and the settings on the factory center control of this particular car. But the thing is also, it's tuned to suit the complete exhaust system as that complete package, with the downpipe off the back of the turbo, with the complete proper turbo back exhaust, the split collector and everything else that we spoke about before. One of the things I also wanted to show you on this particular model, the customer has opted for replacement STI radiator caps. Now, this particular cap is the one on the top here. The factory cap is only 1.1 bar. The STI cap is 1.3, so it obviously allows the engine to run a bit more water pressure before there's a risk of it overheating and blowing the cap and then boiling the water. So it gives you a bit more protection if you're running the car up the track. But most importantly is these new model cars have actually two caps. This is the one that you can remove. This one is normally a fixed cap with no lugs on the side to take off, but it's important that you'd replace that one as well, because ultimately you end up with a 1.1 bar pressure cap here and 1.3 here. So this one will obviously release before that one if you don't change it to an STI cap. That's just a little tip to let you know. The other thing we've changed also is to a GFB fully adjustable performance blow-off valve. You notice this is the original factory one with the valve and everything working from underneath. Might be a little bit hard to see, but we can show you in a still shot. The advantage of the GFB one is this is actually adjustable for internally and externally venting. If you want to, you can run a trumpet off the side to give you that classic whistle, or you can run it fully circulating, so it's 100% legal. But the big thing is it gives you a slightly snappier throttle response, brings the car on boost just that little bit better, and of course combined with all the other parts, these are the things that make the difference. This car also has got the white line tower brace at the front, which is an aluminium brace with powder coated fittings on the end, which is fully adjustable. That will stiffen up the chassis. But one thing I wanted to point out is a lot of people opt for front strut braces before they do suspension improvements. If you want to get the best value out of your dollars that you're investing in your car, rear sway bar, front sway bar first. Strut brace may look good, but it's probably one of the last things that you may want to actually do on your car, because what you'll actually feel in the suspension is a much more dramatic improvement than what you will feel in stiffening the chassis. So there you have an MRT XB kit with a good package of suspension upgrades. This client will be back later on for some brake upgrades with DBA rotors and some other MRT stainless steel brake lines. I want to remind you, with these types of parts, and you buy them through MRT, you get lifetime warranty on the parts, and of course factory warranty guarantee, so you can have your cake and eat it and not risk losing your factory warranty, which is all guaranteed by MRT, and of course available throughout Australia. Good improvement in performance, good strong torque improvement on the car as well without risking the engine, and of course all those other guarantees. If the exhaust is too loud or too quiet, we'll modify it and do that for free as well to keep you happy. And of course you can follow all other information on the net, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. We're here to help you wherever you are in the world. Thanks for watching. I'm Brett Middleton.